Hello everyone, welcome back to another informative video. In this video, I'm basically going to show you the new garden space that I have working with. And I also have the compost bags in this area already as well. Now, as it relates to the compost bags, there are some things that I'm going to do because what I realized that is that the bag then needs some more nitrogen. So I've already bought another bag of nitrogen fertilizer. Well, the chicken manure, the granular chicken manure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty each bag one by one into a wheelbarrow, and I'm going to add the chicken manure to it, and I'm also going to crush the larger particles within each bag, because what happens is that when the particles are basically smaller, it is easier to break down, because the smaller the particles are within your compost pile, the more surface area there is for the microorganisms to inoculate, right? And when you the more microorganisms you have, the quicker your pile will basically break down. And what I'm also going to do to when I'm going to do the whole activity with the horse manure compost, I'm going to actually check the temperature of the compost bags before I do anything. So when I'm doing the activity, I have a thermometer already. I'm going to check the temperature to see what the temperature is, before I start to do what I'm doing. Ideally we are shooting for anywhere between 140 and 160 degrees, right? So even whatever, however you make your compost, it will break down, but it's just that it will some will break down faster than others, because of course the ratios of the different um, elements that you put in the bag. Yeah, let us take a look. Right, so what you are looking at now is basically the hair that I have to use, right? Um, this entire stretch that you are looking at, all of here. But I'm not going to block the middle here, right? I'm going to plant stuff on this side, and then I'm going to plant stuff on this side too, as well, against the wall, right? So let me just give you a walkthrough. As you can see, these are some of the compost bags. Remember those that I had put in this area? Remember that video? And then we have some more out there, right? We have some more out there. So let us take a walk. So what I want to show you is that is this, and as you can see, it spans all the way up there, right? If I should put my tape measure here, right, and measure, I already have 25 feet, right? So I have 25 feet there. Let me just hook that there and see how much I have this side. So it's 25 and call it 10. I have roughly 35 feet from all the way to the end there, right? From the all the way from there at the end, right? To right where I throw the stone, right there, right? So I have 35 feet going that way. And what I want to show you, as I was showing you before, is um, beneath these bags, it's kind of excavated, and as you can see, it is excavated, and based on my measurement, let us see how deep it is. um let's see how deep it is. It is almost 2 feet, right? It is almost 2 feet. Obviously some parts are dumped up, right? Some parts are dumped up, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these big stones, right? Like this big stone here, I'm going to basically just push it up to the end there, just kind of roll it. I just kind of roll it up to the end there to kind of block that little entrance there, right? I'm going to, of course, level off inside, pack the stones properly, right? And I'm going to dump it I'm going to dump it with pure horse manure, right? Kind of fill it in, and kind of basing it with the horse manure is good, because the horse manure is going to stay there and it's going to break down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this board as an example, right? So even though I'm going to fill in that area that is 2 feet deep, I'm going to have 2 feet 2 feet deep worth of growing medium there that I can plant in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use lumber, and I'm going to kind of make like a plant box, right, to kind of further raise it, right, to kind of further raise it. And that box that I'm going to make is actually going to be maybe about 8 inches high. So of course we are going to have the layer of animal manure, horse manure down there, that we are going to use to fill up the majority of this excavation. But then now on top of that we are going to put some, that is why I'm going to raise it. I'm going to raise it another 8 inches, right, and put some mix growing medium, right. So I'm going to use the composted horse manure now, because remember, the one that I'm going to put at the bottom, it's not going to be that composted, right. So I'm going to mix some composted horse manure along with soil and, you know, worm castings and so on, to make a good growing medium. And that is what I'm going to use for the 8 inches up here. That is it. That is basically what I'm going to do with this area. You know, I'm super excited that it is already excavated. On this side now, underneath this window here, what I'm planning to do is, like, I'm going to put a plant box here, right? So I'm going to build a plant box. So maybe I'm going to make it like 2 feet in width box, and in height we are going to go for about 8 8 to 12 inches in height, right? And we are going to make a long plant box from there, right, all the way down to there. Um, there is an entrance there, so that is where I'll basically walk, right? That is where I'll basically walk, right, to come into the garden, right? So I have to make sure that I have a walkway, right? And when you go to that side now, that is basically a garbage container that is going to be moved, because this here is the apartment that I'm going to move into, right? This is it. This is actually the side that is to the road. I'm sure you're hearing vehicles, and I'm sorry, but this is what I'll have to contend with my garden, because it's right beside the road, right? But as you can see, this is why I have not yet moved. It is still um, being um, built in terms of the final touches, right? Yes, so as I was saying, that's the garbage bin that is going to move. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that here as yet, right? I'm not sure. I'll have to see what the landlord is going to do with that area before I say I'm going to put plants there. But nevertheless, this area here that I showed you, this is basically going to be a long plant box here, right? And if I want, I can make it wider than 2 feet. I can go like 3 feet if I want, and plant a lot of plants, because what I want to do is that I want to designate an area that I'll plant, that I have my herbs and spices. This area that you're looking at now, this area right here, where you see this nice flat um, concrete there, right? It's not really concrete, it's basically limestone, right? But based on how they excavate it, it is sitting really well. It is flat, and it is basically sitting really well right there. And what I'm going to do there is I'm going to make a little nursery right there. So as you can see, we have this black tarp, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that tarp. I'm going to use this fence as some kind of structure to put a piece of shade cloth, maybe no more than maybe about 8 by 8, right? Maybe a 8 by 8 covering I'll put here just to grow my seedlings, right? So here is going to be my nursery here. It looks really raw now in terms of you know, the work. It's going to be a lot of work, but I'll get there. You know, at least I'm showing you the plan, right? I'm showing you the plan, and as I said, even right here where it is already excavated, I can plant a lot of root crops. I can plant a lot of root crops here, right? Because I have a lot of depth, right? That is what I'm happy about. I have a lot of depth here. So I can plant sweet potato, I can plant carrot, I can plant a lot of root crops, right? Maybe I can even plant yam. You know that yam grows down far. Maybe I can even plant yam here. I'm very keen on trying cucumber because guess what? Look up there. There are some nails, right? There are some nails in the concrete. You see them? So I can basically use those as some kind of trellising to tie the cord on the cucumber vine and allow it to run on the card. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, as I said, this is what I'm talking about. Some amount of structural fixtures are already here, you know, in that the excavation and those nails on in the concrete. So, this is basically what I wanted to show you, right? I just wanted to show you the space that I have to work with, and as I said earlier too, I can also put a this is basically the back of the apartment, right? I can basically put another plant box, you know, here, put another plant box here. So I'm going to be, so you know, so it's going to be beautiful. And then of course this is one of the fabric plant pot. And remember I did a video transplanting the sweet potato vine. This is the sweet potato vine. So of course these bags will also be placed strategically in the new garden space, right? And as you can see, the sweet potato vines, they are growing well. And remember I put two vines originally in this fabric container, but I realized that, you know, it is very large, so I went ahead and put another two vines, right? So these fabric containers will also be going in the new garden space at different locations, right? I hope you have an idea of the area now, and as you can see, it is much bigger than the area that I showed you first that I was going to use. So I'm excited, and I'll basically bring you on the journey, right? So yes guys, so the rain is coming down now, and I think I'm going to stop here. Please remember to like, share, subscribe to my channel, right? So thank you again for viewing. I'll see you again in another video.